So I'm here with Camila Jordan, and you are urban activist and director at TETO Brazil. Great to talk to you tonight, Camila.
Thank you so much for having me.
So Camila, in terms of the transformation of the construction industry, why is it urgent and how would you like to see it become more sustainable?
Well, I think I'd like to start by saying that today we have 2 billion people living in informal settlements, and they are living in usually precarious housing with not enough infrastructure, water, sanitation, etc. So we really need a transformation, because if we don't include these people now who are already suffering at the forefront of climate change, the time will be lost. Because the projections for people living in informal settlements until 2050 is for this number to go up to 3 billion people. How can we as a society, not only in terms of our conscience, but in terms of our economies, of everything that we need to be doing in terms of climate change, can think of having 3 billion people living in not safe conditions, with not enough dignity to be part of our societies? So sustainable construction needs to go beyond just thinking about materials. It needs to go into also this place of radical inclusion. We need to be bold and we need to be courageous to take these steps of including people who now have been excluded for decades.
Thank you very much, Camila. And also in light of climate change, we're going to have more people more vulnerable, right?
Exactly. So what we are seeing through our work every day now is how these emergencies, who used to be like once or twice a year, have been being constant in Latin America. So we've been seeing how every month we're having multiple crises in multiple cities, in multiple places. And so it's very urgent, because also the time of reconstruction, the time of being able to rebuild is very long for people who are already living in precarious conditions. So we really need to take bold moves so that we include these people in everything that, when we're thinking about sustainable construction, when we're thinking about the future of our cities, we can't leave these people behind. They already are behind. We need to change the way we think about our cities, and especially how we really think about including everyone in what needs to be done.
Thank you, Camila. So the Saint-Gobain action paper, you've read it, I'm sure, at least the summary, maybe all of it. So what is your take on the priorities here? What really resonates with you in this action paper, and what would you like to highlight to move forward?
I think all of the 6 main topics are very relevant, very pertinent to this whole discussion, especially here in Belém, in Brazil, in COP, in the Amazon. We really need to, and I think the point that resonated the most with me was the part of inclusion, not only thinking about the material side, the technological part, but really the part about culture, about society, about how we need to go really collaborate to think about new solutions. Because if we also think about how things have been done, if we keep doing the same mistakes, we will go towards 3 billion people living in informal settlements. But so I think the paper is really interesting, because we need to also, if the private sector also doesn't come on board, if it's only a problem of governments, if it's only a problem of social movements, then we won't find a solution. We really need to work together. And I think the paper already brings that, already brings the spirit of collaboration, brings this idea that we have to step out of our boxes. We need to step out of our silos and really collaborate, listen to each other from also a really an equal standpoint. You know, everyone has something to offer. Everyone has something that we can learn from each other, and especially the communities who are already living in those situations. Because with TETO, we've been mapping and working together and building solutions and learning with the communities for almost 30 years in Latin America. And what we know now, and we've been known actually, is that the communities already have so many solutions, because they're already operating and living in conditions where they need to innovate every day. Every day they need to think about solutions that fit into their pockets, that fit into their realities, and usually we don't listen to them. We don't take the time to really listen to what they're saying to us, to the rest of our society. Governments don't take the time. So we actually, if we learn from them, if we take this moment to come together and everyone listening to each other, not just talking, we're just talking at each other, which is usually what happens, I think we have really a chance to change what's coming next.
So Camila, you're at the COP. We are at the COP here, and today the action paper was launched at the COP. So what are your hopes from the COP perspective related to to well, construction and sustainable cities.
I think really this paper in this moment is actually something very innovative because we're not seeing a lot of discussions when it comes to including housing into the climate discussion. It's very incipient, very incipient. And so we really need to push this agenda. We actually also launched a letter with other organizations during COP, really a call to action as to how housing has to be at the forefront also of the discussion about climate, because how will you survive anything? How will you be resilient if you're living in a dirt floor, if your house can fall with any rain, if you don't sleep at night because you don't know if your house will stand after rain at night. So I think this moment is really interesting in terms of bringing this discussion into COP. I would really like if this would be a part of the formal and the official events and not just a side event, because this is really what we also need to be discussing with the state governments, with the negotiators. It really has to be fit into the plans, and that is something we're not seeing yet. So I think this side event, bringing so many different actors together tonight, is really a really bold move, and we were happy to be here and be a part of it.
Thank you very much for your passion and for the work you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.